Hi, good morning, viewers. Welcome to Global Entertainment News Breakfast Show, your daily dose of news and updates. I'm your host, Steven, and joining me in the studio today are
Bisola Bella.
we'll be taking today's story from Punch and Vanguard newspaper. Today's top story from Punch: APC kicks as Adeleke sends new LG chairman's names to federal government. The Osun State chapter of the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party have engaged in a heated exchange over the state government's recent introduction of local government chairmen and councillors to the federal government. The controversy erupted after letters signed by the secretary to the Osun State governors, Teslim Igbelayi, were sent to key federal officials, including the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsuddeen Babatunde Ogunjimi, and other Central Bank Governor Yemi Cardoso. The letter formally introduced the local government executive from the state's 30 council. However, the APC, in a statement by its Director of Media, Kola Olabisi, condemned the move, describing those lists in the
I we have been talking about the APC party trying to accumulate the seats available, be it local governments or the federal government seat, and then I feels like this thing not supposed to be. If the Governor Adeleke of Osun State needed a new local government for his state, there's nothing that the APC does not have any reasons to kick against that idea. He's the one that selected those people. He's the one that is governing them. Why will the APC own parties wanted to kick against that idea and trying to stop it? And I feel like the federal government as well does not have to have a hearing from the APC group to actually condemn whoever the Adeleke appointed as the local government chairman and councillor. I don't think that the federal government have to accept to what APC needed to say.
it is normal for the APC to come out and counter against it because PDP has, I think, more, I think 90% of the local government chairmen are PDP. So they feel the election was not a free and fair one.
They never did a free and fair election between themselves. Let's talk about the APC, the way they come into power, right from the Buhari tenure and all that. They come with a mischief and all that, and then everything has been on the plain sight for the citizen. Let's just put the Osun State and Adeleke aside, and let us focus on the real let me say the real intention of this APC of a thing, of a party, because I don't feel like they have a good intention. If they have a good intention, they don't have to interfere on the governor Adeleke's choice of a chairman and councillor. If they feels like this thing is not done free and fair, how did their president come into power?
No, they have all rights to interfere because it's their right. The right when it comes to citizen rights. The APC they went through an election, but obviously the APC felt okay that because Adeleke is the sitting governor of the state, that he had majority power. The veto power he used during the election made
Exactly,
PDP
he
win
has a majority
more.
power on them
No,
because
they have all rights to go against it, but it's now left for the probably, let's say, the
the
judge
federal
in charge
government.
of it or the federal government in charge of that case to know that okay, oh, this is the right move to do. And Adeleke is not ready to even look back. He
Mm-hmm.
has fired the list of his local government chairman, or he has sent it to the appropriate channel, to the attorney general and to the central bank when it comes to salary, so they will know that this is how the. So I think steps are already been made already. There's only for going back again. All right, moving straight to the next story we have for you today on Punch. Igboho drags DSS South Court to Supreme Court over 20 billion naira damages. Yoruba Nation agitator Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, has filed an appeal to the Supreme Court seeking the overturn of the Court of Appeal ruling the modified that the 20 billion damage awarded to him against the Department of State Service and the Attorney General of the Federation. Igboho initially sued the AGF and DSS and the DSS director in Oyo State, demanding 5.5 billion naira in damages over the July 2021 raid on his Ibadan residence, during which two people were reportedly killed and 12 others arrested. In this September 2021, an Oyo State High Court ruled in his favour, awarding 20 billion naira in damages against the AGF and the DSS, holding them liable for the invasion. However, in August 2022, the Court on Appeal in Ibadan overturned this decision.
Yeah, if we were still coming out to actually demand sue the DSS, it's just as if that maybe even if the court of appeal actually ruled in his favor to say that he should be compensated with 20 billion naira, I don't think that he still needs to still come out
And
again
had another
and
5.5 billion
and
naira.
sue them again because it feels like he's in his right senses. We all know that our country is full of corruption, even if though they caught someone red-handed that
And
this
you still
person
release him.
is a criminal, he has done something wrong. There's still going to be a judge or there's still going to be a way that this whole thing will overturn and then it will be in a favor to him.
Okay?
If your resident was being raped because there was a crime scene that was that happened there, and then you have already won or the judge has already give you the favor that you should be compensated of the damage, why still coming out again?
No,
Do
I think Sunday that
go
only Igboho's claim there is that initially the Court of Supreme Court actually asked the federal government or the DSS to pay him 20 billion naira for damages and everything. I think after then he has not been paid that money in full, and now he's now demanding for another 5.5 billion naira.
even
Imagine
even
yourself.
though even though he wasn't paid in full and he was paid in full, if demanding 5.5 billion naira is not the right thing for him to do.
See, when it comes to court issues and everything, everybody tend to do things to their own favor. I think this action he has made is just for the federal government to know that there is an issue on ground. For them to delay, this is 2025, that's 4 years from now.
2021.
So I think they should have paid if truly the court filed that signed that deal for him to be paid.
Agreement.
Agreement, it should have been paid a long time ago. This country get money, so let's just move forward. Moving straight to the next story we have for you from Punch. Natasha suspended for misconduct, not harassment. Claim Senate replies IPO. The Nigerian Senate has defended its decision to suspend Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan before the International Parliament Union, stating that her suspension was not related to allegations of sexual harassment but due to her gross misconduct. Speaking before the IPU on Wednesday, the chairperson of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Kafayat Ogbara, dismissed claims made by Akpoti-Uduaghan at the United Nations event, and she was suspended for raising allegations of sexual harassment against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Ogbara said she had been mandated by the National Assembly to present a response to Akpoti-Uduaghan's speech delivered at the 69th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. Well, to me, I think the senator they are too forward in this issue. I tell you because I follow the statement Natasha made at that meeting. I feel she made it open that the main reason why the Senate president was after her was because there was actually a petition she made. That's where everything really started from. The petition she made earlier about I think is it about her constituency or something. Then she had to go to the Senate president's office for her to settle that issue. That's where the sexual harassment started from. So I think everything is in conjunction to what really happened. And for the Senate to come out and say she's been suspended for
For
misconduct,
misconduct,
not
not
sexual
sexual
harassment,
harassment.
I think That's very, very wrong because if you are suspending someone for misconduct, you are taking away her security. They took away her security. They for the 6 months she's suspended, she will not be paid salary. They took away her security. They took away so many things from her. And in the suspension, she must not appear anywhere. She must not address herself as a senator in this country for that 6 months she's suspended. So I think is all this punishment is too much for just misconduct.
And apart from that, we talking about the misconduct. What was the misconduct she has done? Because it was open to everybody. She, except from her standing for herself, what else did she do?
Well, I'm going to comment about that. The reason why she actually feels like this whole thing should have been settled amicably, or before she go to IPU chamber in Switzerland, is because she feels like the reason for that suspension is because of the claim of the Akpabio, the Senate president, of the harassment that she has been facing. Because the Ajakuta mining that was being suspended, because she says that she bring that Ajakuta mining first time, second time, third time, fifth time, and the sixth time. So a Senate president in that same chamber actually advised her to go and meet the Senate president personally in his office. That is when she went there, and then the man was like, you can actually benefit a lot from me instead of trying to ignore the signs and signal. That was the first, and the second one that he invited them, she and her husband, to his birthday party, and then he still altered the same thing. So yeah, those issue now started to arise. It feels like that Ajakuta project should not be abandoned because of the his harassment towards her should not be abandoned. She was trying to make her voice heard, and that project should be continued because Nigeria benefits a lot from that Ajakuta project. So president not trying to hear her because she refused to not accept the harassment, the sexual advance. It's like as if that if this project cannot go forward, then there is need for us to actually address it publicly. Because if you are trying to ignore the project that you are not ready to do it, then there is need for you to actually address it. We need to address it publicly. Let me come out and render my voice. Let me come out and render my voice so that people will understand that this is what was the reason why this project has been abandoned, because I was unable to accept to his terms and conditions to let him have his way with me.
I think this issue is actually a very big issue that the federation needs to really look into because if this issue is not really looked into the way we want it to be, the Senate themselves have been a major have been a
Center of
major
attraction.
center of that's what center of attraction when it comes to public. You can't go anywhere in the news now without having this kind of issue reports coming out. Now that it has gotten to the IPU, it has gotten to so many places. Even Honorable Ogba was in a meeting in New York. She had to in the press conference also. She was asked that question in the press conference, and she had to
Talk about it.
talk about it and give her own thought about it. Well, I believe the Senate knows what they are doing about this and they should do it well. To me, I don't think she needs to be suspended for anything.
She does not even need to be suspended. They need to be fair. Like the judgment should just be fair. They might give her some suspension, but it should not be up to that 6 months. Imagine you giving her suspension and taking her security away from her, she not receiving salary and a lot of things coming with it. And another person has done this and went free.
All right, moving forward to the next story we have for you today. Lagos Calabar Highway project wasteful, corrupt, says Obasanjo. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has described the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos to Calabar coastal highway project as wasteful and corrupt. He equally slammed the President Bola Tinubu administration for spending 21 billion naira on a new official residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, calling it as a misplaced priority and conduct designed to embezzle public funds. The ex-leader disclosed this in chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria Past and Future, where he painted the portrait and character of chief executive as both the federal and state level. The book was one of the two new books unveiled to mark Olusegun Obasanjo's 88th birthday last week. So 21 billion naira
To build
to
a
build.
house for the
Wow.
vice president is not really
I
bad thing.
I this to me, I think this is really, 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 really alarming. 21 billion naira to build.
Imagine, and
I
there's a lot of debts that are yet to be paid, and you use 21 billion
Not
naira to
1 billion,
not
21
one, not
billion.
even 10.
I think this is another means of embezzling money. You can't
Yeah,
tell which house do you want to build for 21 billion naira.
you want
they
to
want
build
to
a lot
make it
of
a
estates,
castle, a big
mansions.
castle.
Wow. Even the Aso Rock is not what Aso Rock is not, it doesn't worth 21 billion naira when it comes to building. Are you building and stocking um 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 interior materials inside the house also?
21 billion naira is just too
Well,
much.
if we in Nigeria wanted to talk about the real things that is being wasted, but we are not ready to actually talk about it. Talking about the president buying a new yacht, a new private jet, a new this, renovating the first lady villa, the renovation of the Asuro and all that, and we are just tending to just overlook it because it feels like since I was born, the money of the government has never touched me. But we really don't even understand the idea that even if the money is not touching us, we have the right to good education, good sector, good road security,
Electricity.
and all that. And if all those things we keep on to shift our mind from it because there is someone, one allergy in an estate that can actually provide 24/7 security for himself, 247 light for himself, 247 water, his road to his state is his estate is okay and smooth. Then a lot of people will wanted to rent close to that site so that they can actually have access to those things. But we are not ready to actually hold our government accountable
Accountable for
for
it.
most of the things they are doing because we are not doing anything. The more they keep spending, the more we just come online, wail
Read,
about it, and then
pass.
shout, this one will take it, this one will tweet about it, the other one will tweet about it. Then
That's
in the
all.
next 3 days, it's all vanished. No one is going to hear it about it again.
Well, to me, I think the way I'm even saying it is probably I might go into politics tomorrow. If this is the way the nation is going and the embezzle of money, this if I want embezzle money small. All right, moving forward to the next story we have for you today from Vanguard. Court declines to legalize prostitution, dismiss Abuja sex workers suit. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja yesterday declined to legalize prostitution in the country, even if even as it dismissed a suit that sought the enforcement fundamental rights of commercial sex workers in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Abuja. The court, in a judgment delivered by Justice James Omotosho, while describing prostitution as an immoral act that is alien to cultural value of all the ethnic groups in the country, said it found no reason to stop the Minister of FCT, Nelson Wike, and security agencies for arresting those that engage in such elite business. Wow, I think this is very it's very, 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 very alarming. For imagine in a court sitting a justice in a court sitting down discussing about prostitution in the court.
Is
This is
that
Well,
the
very,
next thing?
no, it's not as if it is the next thing. Like we're already seeing it happening here, even if the country has not actually legalized it. There are many that is actually going into that work now. Some tend to look over it. Yeah, well, in our country, we don't hold what is legal and what is
Illegal.
illegal. Okay, they says that this thing is illegal, or you still see people going into it. It's just like drugs when people are still going into it, even when this one is going to be done secretly. But when you come to prostitution, you're going to see girls at night coming out selling themselves publicly, even when they know that this is illegal. So even the police is going to patronize them, the security agency is going to the
Politicians.
politician is going to patronize them, but they are
they are
still
the
going
ones
to
that haven't
be
patronized the most.
they are still going to be in their office and write against it. Prostitution is illegal. So you're not going to say that why is the court actually saying no? But even if they say yes, it's already been circulation. It's already in circulation that most countries, not most states now in Nigeria are doing it, be it the village or the city, they are into it. So they just wanted to, okay, tell you it's illegal, but
Just need to do a cover
but
up.
you have to do it with your sense. Don't fully go into it, but you still have to do it.
I actually came across a post by a very dark one yesterday about the Senate. I think the Senate or the House of Rep or so. They levied a bill to ban porn sites in Nigeria. I was like, is this what? Just imagine group of men sitting down together discussing how to ban porn sites in the country. Is that what we are really facing in this country now, banning porn sites in the country? But there are so many things. Just imagine this issue now, position and they align together. Because I don't know why people will sit down and say, okay, this is the
It's the
problem of the
best thing.
country. This is the problem of the country now. There are other things they can talk about. How to see there are people on the roads that have not eaten for 3 days. People at the refugee camp, they've not seen food for how many days. Those are the things they should be talking about. How to save the masses' life. Not well, let's move forward.
I just say I know that they are we Nigeria are suffering. Do you understand? But we just wake up like we sleep and wake up, and the next thing another news will cover it up. It will shift our attention to it.
We have never put in our attention in one
We
direction.
put our attention there,
No.
but it's because we can't voice out.
We
That's
have,
why we shift our
we have
attentions
never, we
away.
have never put our attention in one thing. If you are going to be honest about it, and the way we Nigerian reason, we have never put our attention in one thing. Because if they are going to be okay, take for instance the SARS, followed by the lockdown and all that that started. We haven't actually succeeded in one direction. When the news of the sitting president being in CIA, it was only heard on social media where everybody was dragging it. And then it follows by the United States sponsoring the Boko Haram. It only ends on that situation because the next thing you are going to hear, there is another topic that we wanted to divert
Exactly.
our attention into. We have never, for once, you won't say that the government are the one coming to give us something to shift our mind into. No, we are the one that is shifting our mind because we feel so far the social media, everybody is going to ball, we are going to tweet, we are going to laugh, and then we just pretend that nothing is happening. If I'm going to have a 20 gigabytes on my phone, or let me say 200 MB on my phone, I can tweet from morning till night if it's going to be enough. Then I don't have any worries. We don't put our direction in one thing. We tend to divide it. If someone comes up now and then tweets about one thing very important, you're going to see the opposition and those that are supporting it. This one it says that you are not mentally okay. How would you go and make a good research like this and come and tell us? You can't you go and fight it for yourself? That is how we are. We are not ready for the change and we are not looking for it
Well,
at all.
change is actually constant. Well, moving on to the next story we have for you from Vanguard today. Let Obasa be, Tinubu tells Lagos lawmakers. Following the crisis that rocked the Lagos State House of Assembly, President Bola Tinubu met with the Speaker of the Assembly, Mr. Mudashiru Obasa, and other aggrieved lawmakers behind closed doors at the presidential villa Abuja yesterday. At the end of the meeting, the President Vanguard insisted that Obasa should remain the Speaker with a warning that he should carry his colleagues along. It was further gathered that the president directed Obasa to withdraw the court case after the Peace Valley Obasa declined to talk to the State House correspondent who has been waited to get outcome of the parley.
This is all clear. When he's made a statement about his loyalties was to the president, but all his action. Now you see the reason why he has so much loyalty to the
He has
president
a
because he
backup.
still wanted to remain in that position. You can't actually display that kind of attitude and then tell them that you are not ready. Yesterday, the news came out where he actually purchased a SUV for all the lawmakers that actually supported him, who wanted in the billions of naira. You can imagine all that. When we keep on dealing and accepting corruption in the state, we're going to expect more of a dangerous people that is not ready to take accountability, that is not ready to step down because they were wrong, that is not ready to actually do the right thing. Imagine a lawmaker knowing that this person is not good for that position, but you still went ahead
Supporting.
because you wanted to benefit from it. You wanted your children to keep on benefiting. How long will that take? If you are ready to write about the change that we needed, it's not even in this generational time or how we are going to see it, because the ones that is even coming behind us, we are our the parents of
Exploitation of culture. A Lagos State High Court yesterday ruled in favour of the Isaleko Descendants Union in its case against Amazon Web Service and the creator of the controversial movie Gang of Lagos, mandating a public apology for misrepresenting the Eyo festival and Isaleko community. Following the film release on Amazon Prime Video, members of the Saleko community expressed outrage, arguing that the movie distorts their cultural heritage and portrayed their people in the negative light. The case filed under over the matter, Justice Idowu Alakija approved the terms of statement reached by the party in the suit. As part of the ruling of the producer of King Gang of Lagos, respondent 3 to 11 must issue a public apology acknowledging the film misrepresentation of the Eyo masquerade and its disrespect towards the peaceful tradition of Isaleoko people. Wow.
you know Nigerian
No,
as
no. Apart from it, I know where you're driving at, but the way I see this, I think the government are really trying to hide
Some
something
things, yeah.
from this,
what I'm
because
trying to say.
if you watch that movie well from the beginning to the end, you see that there are so many things that was exposed in Lagos State. So many things were exposed in that video. How Lagos State has been running for I think 20 years ago. How Lagos State has drug dealers, the bad side of Lagos, how Lagos grew. That movie really exposed so many things. I don't think it's because of the Eyo, because
They just use the hair as a cover up.
someone with a gun with it. I don't think that's enough reason. It happens everywhere. If China can use their culture to create movie, bad side of the movie and good side of movie, what are they now thinking? Is it just movie?
Let me tell you that we in Nigeria, we are afraid of the history of this country. I'm going to tell it's a very serious one. Nigeria is we are afraid of the history of this country. When we really wanted to dig deep into Nigerian history, you're going to find a whole lot of, let me say, conspiracy hanging around here and there, and a whole lot of it. But we are not ready to face it. When the more you just wanted to face it, the more you feel like, I don't want to die. Oh. Because if I'm ready to expose more, you are going to be traced down. You're going to feel like, it's just Nigeria that me and you is living, or the person that is my neighbor, it doesn't know anything. But you won't know that this person is far deeper than you can ever expect it. Nigerian leaders, those in powers and all that, are far deeper to what you don't expect. If I think that this one is coming with a production or trying to empower the youth, but there are other things that is actually into ties with those underground that is doing the whole lot of things. Not because of this movie that they wanted to do. No, it's not because of that. It's because they don't want the history to be exposed. They don't want a lot of things to be exposed.
Well, this movie Gang of Lagos,
Not too much of history.
the storyline I know in that movie was a very clear storyline, and anybody that watched that movie will understand that movie and know that there is a message being passed in this movie, because the movie was so clear enough. You will know that the characters alone, without watching the movie to the end self, you can glance to, okay, who is this character representing in the current society. Everybody know who the character is representing. Just in the case of the guy being called well, it's a long time I watched the
Let
movie.
me let
Let
me
me
tell
just
you,
go back to it.
let me tell you that we don't know history enough.
So
You
many
had
characters
you
on the
had
movie. You see the likes of Zlatan. So many actors came in together to make that movie a success.
you hardly see a movie in Nigeria that is being portrayed of a Nigerian history. You hardly. Even the one that is going to be like that is going to be like is a bit cut and joined. Like they don't really want to go deep into that history part of it. because they know that there's going to be a whole lot of misconception. The government is going to come out and then feels like, ah, you're already
What is to
exposing
get?
us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think this issue is about the government in general. It's not about government in general. This movie, I think Lagos State are not happy with this movie. Those in charge of Lagos State politics, Lagos State Parliament, will not allow this to open because it exposed so many things. And if it expose one person, it expose all.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they are trying to hide this movie, and the movie the movie was even nominated for so many awards, but it has to be removed due to the ban and everything. Well, I think we really need to fight for what is really right, and